You see, there are always two outcomes to the decisions a person makes in life, and they are gratification or regret. Of course, the only way we can know the result of our decisions is by viewing them in hindsight or in retrospect. Do you look back at your life sometimes and you think about some of the poor choices you have made? And even though you might find yourself now consciously trying to avoid making some of those choices that seem so poor now in hindsight, you still keep stumbling from one situation to another that ends up leaving you full of regrets and with a bitter aftertaste. You wonder things like, why did I marry that person who was all wrong for me? I mean, I knew it. Why did I listen to that advice and get involved in that shady business deal? You ask yourself what you were thinking. And when you look back at your life now, you look at the sum total of your life right now, you don't like what you see, nor do you understand how things got to be the way they are. Now, while it all goes without saying that we will all probably make bad choices every now and again. If, however, the most part of your life till this point looks more like a series of consequences strung together, to give the appearance of a life well put together, then it's time to look more seriously at the role you may be playing in all of that. Yes, indeed. Perhaps when you start addressing some of the elephants in the room, you will gain a deeper understanding of the process and the reason behind some of the choices you've made in life and change them for the better, okay? Which is why today I want to talk about how exercising delayed gratification and listening to the voice of your spirit can save you and I regrets, okay? Now, I do understand that according to our different circumstances in life, there are a whole lot of other factors that could work together to contribute to the poor choices we all make in life. But for the purposes of this video today, I just want to talk about two that I believe are the most important in helping us make better decisions, okay? Because both combined are guaranteed to reduce or remove entirely regrets from our lives, all right? Delayed gratification on its own for sure is one process I know that we all sometimes try to avoid because frankly, nobody really likes to wait for anything anymore in this world, especially now that we live in a world where everybody prefers shortcuts to success, you see. Everything is happening so fast around the world and around us, and we want to keep up somehow, okay? So we have more people getting into things they have no business being in because they ignored the voice of their spirit telling them to stop or to wait. Hello again, and welcome to Insights with Sheeple. Today I want to share some of my thoughts on regrets and the two main factors that lead to them, okay? I hope that after you've listened, you'll be more encouraged to not only look back at the times in your life where you may have made other choices and had a different outcome, but you can also look forward to a future where your life's choices will be more guided by the Spirit of God, who is always willing to give us a second chance in life. All right? Personally, I can't begin to tell you how many times I have gone against my intuition, what I will call my inner spirit for the purposes of this video, okay? I can't begin to tell you how many times I ignored the voice of my spirit telling me not to do something, and I ignored it, only to end up regretting my actions down the line. Honestly, I cannot begin to count the many times I had an uneasy feeling about something I wanted to do or someone I just met, and I simply ignored it, although the warnings were very clear. And truly, every time I've ignored the voice of my spirit like that, I've always paid a great price, a very great price. But did I learn my lessons immediately after? No, until I understood the importance of the voice of my spirit. You see, your spirit within you will check everything out first before giving you a go ahead or a no, all right? Your spirit has seen and knows the before and after of everything you want to do in life. Believe it. It was designed by God to protect your interests here on earth. And so when you're not teachable and you don't follow its instructions, you will keep putting yourself in positions you could have easily avoided if you had only obeyed its promptings in your heart about someone or something you were about to do. Now, most times when we rush into a business venture or a marriage or a relationship with someone, even after our spirit has warned us about the person, it's usually because we decided at that moment to follow either our impatience, our greed, our lust, our strong desire for something, whatever we felt at that moment, out of desperation and not a necessity. No, not a necessity, but desperation. And desperate acts tend to produce desperate situations. Yes, they do. And you know, the spirit of man within him can never mislead him, okay? It cannot, because it's connected to a divine source. And like I said earlier, it was designed to protect us and our interests here on earth. And so when we feel a strong resistance from inside about a particular thing we're about to do, and we just brush it aside, we have then unconsciously connected ourselves to a source of regret. Yes, a source of regret. And a source of regret is anything we've accepted in spite of the warnings of our inner spirit. And because we don't even fully grasp what we've just done, we justify it by saying things like, after all this, the same thing worked for John or it worked for Anita, so surely it must work for me too. Now, the truth is that we're not John or Anita, okay? Are we? No, we're not. So why do we always have to think that the level of grace that covers one person is the same level covering us too? Do you know if they've been living on a very long rope due to God's mercies over their lives? So why do we envy such people and want to emulate them? It's so wrong, and this is why many people who blindly follow what others are doing or have done end up suffering consequences they didn't see coming. So the sooner we understand that we cannot keep trying to imitate the journey of another person without even understanding if whatever they did was right or wrong, the better for us. And just because they got away with it does not mean it will work the same way for us. No, our journeys are different. So in essence, what I'm saying is this: we must not throw all caution to the wind after we've waited on God for so long and worked so hard to get to where we are now, just because someone made us an enticing offer. The sad thing about not wanting to exercise delayed gratification when we get enticed with something is that many times when these temptations come, we're not even doing too badly at that point in our lives that we're in, okay? We most probably have had what I call that priceless peace of mind and happiness that money can't buy. But you see, out of desperation, we now make a mistake and end up swapping an 80% for a 20%, just like it was with Esau in the Bible. Let me tell you quickly about him. Esau was one of the most prominent characters in the Bible that chose instant gratification over his common sense, and he paid for it dearly. Yes, he did. He was one of the sons of Isaac and Rebekah in the Bible, in the book of Genesis. I'll put the verse down there. And Esau had a twin brother, Jacob, who tricked him, to give up his birthright, which was essentially the right to be recognized as the firstborn and get the inheritance that came with that right. He gave up all of that for a bowl of stew. Just a bowl of stew. Imagine that. A bowl of stew. And in the context of life today, that will be like someone giving you a cup of water to quench your thirst in exchange for your brand new car and your fully paid for mansion. Now, how ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? But you see, Esau was so weary that he felt like he was going to die, according to verse 32 of that chapter. He felt that getting food in his stomach was more important than his birthright, which he then readily gave up. He was so desperate for rest and food after his long trip that he allowed his brother Jacob capitalize on his needs. Now, how familiar is that scenario to you? When you've been waiting for a breakthrough for a long, long time, and you've been patiently waiting for a husband or a wife, you've been waiting for a job, you've been waiting for a promotion, you've been waiting to be recognized for your input in that organization, you've been waiting for your business to yield a profit, you've been waiting for a child. Whatever it is you've been waiting for. The truth is, after a while, you can get so desperate that you allow yourself to be swayed into accepting just anything that comes along, not minding the strings that may be attached to it. Just accept anything that may appear as your much needed relief now. See, in my own life, I could tell you many stories, many instances where I've had to live with the consequences of my refusal to exercise delayed gratifications, especially in the area of my past relationships. So in conclusion today, may I encourage us all, and in particular that one person who is watching this video now and needs to hear this. I want to tell you today that anything delayed in your life right now is not denied. And just because you've had to wait for it for longer than others doesn't mean that you're never going to get it, okay? Delayed gratification is not a punishment from God. I have learned that myself. It is in fact a protection from God. Let me repeat that. I said delayed gratification is not a punishment that God has imposed on you when he said, wait on me in his word. No, it is his protection because he knows what's best and who's best for us. And this is emphasized upon several times in many chapters in the Bible that we are to wait on the Lord. So when we're tempted to ignore the warning voice of our inner spirit man and instead follow the strong desire, let's remember that the devil won't give you anything for free. Nope. There's always a hidden clause in the agreement you sign with him when you accept an offer. And because the Bible calls him the father of all lies, you can be rest assured that whatever that thing may be that you're still doing, although your spirit is warning you about it right now, okay? Whatever you're being offered now on a platter of gold that isn't yours and you're about to accept it, okay? Whatever your impatience is pushing you to go into that you know isn't something you normally should be doing. Whatever you're being enticed with now that you know is wrong, but you're planning to go ahead and get it anyway. Whatever it is, just know that it is just a temporary version of an original that already belongs to you, okay? It's nothing but an altered version of something that God has already given to you. Look at how Proverbs 28:20 puts it. It says, a faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. If you and I do not get down with the concept of delayed gratification, we will end up receiving something we cannot hold on to. We will end up with something that does not belong to us, and so it will not stay. It won't stay. We will end up ruining the greater potential of a long-term plan and be full of nothing but pain, sorrow, and regrets. If we refuse to allow delayed gratification run its full course in our lives, we will end up with less than what we deserve. Which is why I titled this video today, Don't Give Up What You Want Most for What You Want Now. Okay? You can either lose or you can lose, as they say. Or you can just choose to win. Follow your spirit always because it knows more than you do. Yes, it does. It is older than you are. Thank you for listening today, and I trust this video has helped you. And I hope that you will choose to listen and follow the voice of your spirit now more than ever before, okay? So stay strong, stay blessed, and I'll see you at my next video. Bye-bye.